guys, welcome to Glowing Firewood. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and I will answer them. But right now, I'm going to be doing my best to help throw all this wood from this trailer here into that wood pile. So stay tuned and enjoy this video. I'm going to have fun supervising, somebody else does all the work. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be supervising while everybody else throws it in and I watch. So, let's get started. All right, so now that my buddy is not doing any work, I'm going to be throwing this pile into my bins, which it's hard to. I'm going to go see if I can get my tripod because it would probably be easier where everybody can see me throwing the wood into those bunkers as that little man over there just sits there and does nothing. Because he's lazy and doesn't want to do the work, but he wants to get credit for it. So, let me see if I can find my tripod. And I'll try to set you up a little bit better where you can see me throwing the firewood into the bin. And then hopefully some splitting of the firewood. All right, let's see if we can switch you. All right, so hopefully you'll be able to see this a little bit easier now. It's still hard to show what I'm doing, which is throwing all the wood from this trailer into the bunker. All right, let's see, where's this? Hold on. I'm in South Jersey. So I'm throwing this into my bunker so I can get more wood split because I got to empty the trailer. So there's still some snow in these bunkers, but the snow shouldn't really affect the wood because it's still, the snow is still going to melt and it's still going to dry. So So these are my storage bunkers that I have, that I store the wood in. Each one of these, I have 3 of these little crate pallet things. Each one of them will hold, level to the top, 4.5 cords. So I have 3 of them, and I always, whenever I fill them, I mount them as high as I can possibly get them. So I tried stacking, but you know, it's just too time consuming, and I found it's easier to just throw the wood in the giant pile. And plus, I'm not, because when I first started, I would let my wood season, but I don't have enough room to have 40, 50 cords of wood stocked up a year ahead of time, so it has time to dry. So I just sell it as is, which most of the time is about 25 to 30% moisture content. So I just started selling the firewood as is, and that's how I advertise it. I don't like, if you get in the end of the season and I happen to have some wood that's dry, then so be it. But I don't advertise that I sell dry firewood. And most of the time now that I got the faster splitter, I can stock up a little bit, because before, when I was using the slower splitter, I was pretty much splitting 2 cell, which is, I'm pretty much kind of still doing the same, but whenever I have the time, I try to split up as many logs as I can, even if it's only a couple cords of wood. And then, like say if I get an order for somebody that wants firewood, I'll still split it to order, and I won't take from this, and I just let this build up. Because sometimes when somebody orders a cord of firewood, I might not, depending on the time, I might not be able to go and split up a cord of firewood right then and there. Then I'll pull from this. So this is pretty much like my backup pile. So most of the time I split to order. If they want a cord of firewood, I'll split 2 cords of a cord of firewood right into my back of my trailer and then deliver it. So I'm in South Jersey. That's where I'm at. It's hard to show what I'm doing, but I'm throwing my wood into my bunker so I can split more firewood. Might be able to move my tripod over here. Maybe it's easier if I put it over here so you can catch. There you go. Maybe that one would work. It's still hard to show Maybe that's easier to see. I think I seen before I left, somebody asked how much. So a cord of wood is $300 plus delivery. Delivery and stacking is not included. So those prices are additional. If you want it delivered, it all depends on where you're at. And stacking all depends on where you want it stacked. And I try to stay in Atlantic County. I mean, if I get something that's out of Atlantic County, I might deliver it, but I try to do most of my deliveries within Atlantic County, so I'm not traveling super far. Because even just in Atlantic County, I know there's a lot of people that sell firewood. So there's no sense in me traveling a long distance when there's surely somebody closer. So I try to stay just in Atlantic County in New Jersey, which pretty much means about 20 minutes from the shop. So this wood that I'm throwing in here right now is mostly really green. I mean, it's just wet. Because some of the logs I get are drier, but these ones were pretty much just cut down. But firewood's firewood, and I'll still sell it. You just got to find the right people, because I don't advertise that I sell dry. Like if I happen to have stuff that's a little drier, then I happen to have it, but I'm too small to be able to actually sell fully seasoned firewood, which could be 3 to 4 years. So I got to be 12 years ahead of myself, or at least 8. And that's just impossible for me. So I allow customers to buy it and then let it sit in their yard and season, because then when winter comes, they know that they have it. And a lot of my customers, if they do order like in the winter time, I do tell them, if you order it now, you can let it sit in your yard and season the rest of your way. Oh, I just knocked my buddy down. Here, you can sit right here. Sit right there and watch these people. Make sure they behave themselves. So I did have a lot of wood pre-split up. I probably had, I don't know, 20 cords split up. But then we had 2 massive unexpected snowstorms, and it wiped me out clean. So I don't have any wood prepared that's split up for a little bit, because I tried to get ahead of myself. But then we had 2 massive snowstorms, and I don't got anything. And plus, if this, whatever amount of wood I can get out here, it will definitely hit the sun and dry a little bit, so it's not as soaked. Ow! What happened? You knocked me over. Well, why were you standing in the way? I wasn't. You hit me. Sorry. Sit back here and watch the people on YouTube. And I'll try not to hit you again. Okay. Whee! What are you doing upside down? I don't know. Here. Ugh. Ugh. Man, you just keep falling all over the place, don't you? Just sit right there and wait till I'm done. Alright, trailer's almost empty. Alright, we're almost done with this trailer. And then we get to split some firewood? Yes. One second. Once I'm done with all this firewood in the trailer, we can split some firewood. There we go. Trailer is empty. All right, let's see if anybody has anything to ask us. All right. How much stacked? So 2 people are saying that they like it stacked. Bottom 2 rows stacked vertically. Last row horizontal. So a lot of people are saying that some people are saying that they wanted it stacked. So this is the pile that I just threw into this rack here. So when I can, I'll try to fill all of them, and then I mount as high as I can possibly go. So that's them. I guess I'm just going to leave him and start splitting firewood. So, because he's not paying attention. So I'm going to go split some more firewood now. Get you back up in here. See if the... So I'm going to go line up to split some firewood. Hey, you on YouTube, if you have any questions, type it in the comment section and I will try to respond. I love to answer your questions. So let me know in the comment section down below and I will try to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you. Alright, I'm going to move this trailer back to my splitter and hopefully do a little bit of splitting. All right. I just got to turn this around so you can see me split. Should be, maybe I might be able to back it up just a little bit more so the trailer's a little bit closer without hitting my splitter. All right, that should be good. As long as you guys can see me splitting and the splitter action, we should be fine. Might be easier to put you over here so you can see all the splitting. So I'm talking, so stacking but charge more. So if I'm delivering firewood and they want me to stack it, I'm going to be charging. So what I'm trying to do is, do you stack it before you sell it, or do you just leave it in a giant pile? I should have put that in that question, but I guess I didn't. So what I'm trying to see is if you prefer it stacked or loose before you sell it. I mean, I guess if it's in your yard, you can just let me know if you like it stacked or loose, because some people like it loose in their yard, and some people want it stacked. So try and get this adjusted right so you can watch me split some firewood. Actually, I'm going to tighten this before I start, because these bolts always get loose. So I always have to tighten them a little bit, because they always like to get loose. I'm not sure why, because if I make them super tight, then it won't slide. So I always have to tighten these. I guess it's just the vibration of the splitter. And these don't go into like lock washers, so you can't tighten them up. Like, they don't have lock washers on the end. It just goes right into the metal. But also, if I do it too tight, then it doesn't like to move. But also, you always have to keep these things clean of dirt and crud, because dirt and crud always get in this. And then it will mess it up. So I always try to scrape this off and spray WD-40 on it, keep it keep this as clean as I can get it to keep from any buildup from occurring. Because this will build up underneath where the wheel is, and then the wheel won't spin, and it will turn flat because it will just keep scraping. So these you always want to try to keep as clean as you can. And then I always like spraying these wheels as much as I can. Make sure this crud is out. Yeah, what do you need? 1 second, Chet. You want a bag of firewood? Yeah, give me 1 second. I just didn't make them yet. I'll make them up real quick for you. This guy came up for my firewood stand and it's empty, and he wanted some firewood bags, and I haven't quite had the time to make them with all the snow. So bear with me, and I'm gonna try to make some 5 firewood bags real quick. I would bring the camera, but I don't want this guy to be creeped out that I'm on a live. Yeah, I just haven't been able to keep up with these things. They just keep disappearing. So I'm just going to quickly make some 5 bundles for them. I don't know where to put my camera so you can see me. Because I don't have it on my tripod, I have it magnetic on a magnet on my trailer. So it's hard to show you. So, like if I already had the camera out, not really hidden, I would have showed you guys me making some bundles, but I was already away from the camera when the guy asked, and I hate to just like shove, even though it's my property, I can do whatever I want. I hate to just shove cameras in people's faces. Yeah, with all this snow, I haven't really been able to make bundles because my regular firewood's just been selling crazy. So I've just been sticking to the regular firewood bundles and not making my regular cords of wood. But once this snow and mud dries up, I'll try to make more bundles. Maybe I'll do a live of me doing that. Alright, 2 more bundles to make, chat, and I'll be back. Give me one more second, one more bag, and I'm good. Yeah, everything's just been crazy. Everybody's coming in, buying everything. It's hard to keep everything stocked. So right now I'm just trying to split firewood for regular firewood and split for bundles. So bundle wood I split a little bit smaller than I do regular firewood. You'll probably see me when I'm splitting, I'll throw firewood into different spots. That's because I'm, if it's a little bit smaller, I'll separate it for bundles. Alright, let's give him these bundles. And then I'll get back to my video. I still have a whole bunch of kindling I have to put in my shed. It's crazy what this snow does. You wanted 5, right? There you go. Yeah, it's hard to keep my firewood stands full. It's like I turn around and they're empty again. But I guess I normally use a 4-wheeler, but I can't get my 4-wheeler through here because it's a smaller one. Yeah, so I can't. I'm like, I don't feel like carrying it, so I'm like, I'm just waiting until the snow melts. It's easier. Bundles are 7 each, and then the kindling's 10. All right, thank you. Have a good one.
You too. What's the story with next year? When are you gonna have delivering wood?
Well, as soon as the snow's gone and the mud kind of dries up, I'm gonna try to deliver as much as I can.
Good idea. Then it'll be nice and seasoned next year.
Yeah. So like right now, it's just I can't even do anything because I can't. If I get in someone's yard, I can't. I don't know if how their yard looks, and just because they say it's clear doesn't mean I can get a 7-ton trailer over it without getting stuck. So.
All right, I'll call you in a few weeks. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, I'm back, chat. Had a customer come, and my firewood stand doesn't have any firewood bundles in it because I just been going crazy. So let's get back to splitting. I'm surprised there's still 100 people here. A lot of times they leave. They're like, oh, there's nothing. I'm leaving. Um, Miller Stumps and Firewood, how are you doing? Also about yeah, sometimes the chat is dead. Oh, congratulations, Miller Stumps and Firewood, for the membership gift. these bolts. I gotta get some like Loctite or something on these, because they won't, they keep coming undone. Yeah, so I think I gotta get some Loctite on them bolts. double checking this. It looks a little big. Half an inch too big. That's fine. That's a cool piece of equipment you have. We have something similar. Okay. This one's a little too big. Of course, it's out of gas. Right when I'm almost done a cut. Yes, this log's just a little bit too big, so I try to, if I notice that they're a little bit too big, I try to catch them and either put them aside or cut them. Because I don't want customers getting firewood that's too big. Even though a log that's only a couple inches short shouldn't really matter. I like to keep it, if I know that it's too short, too long, I always like to cut it. Because otherwise it will bug me. How's everybody on YouTube doing? Another person saying stacked. Depending on how many times you want to handle the wood. Obviously, better log splitter. So I'm not exactly sure what year or what model it is. I have no idea. I just found it on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm not good with equipment, so I have no idea. Oh, I gotta plug in my phone. Also, let's see what time it is, because I might have to end the live stream anyway, because I got stuff I gotta do and get ready for. Alright, let's see, what time is it? Alright, so it's 4:17. So I'll probably do a couple more minutes and then I'm gonna have to end the live stream. But thank you all for tuning in. So I got some wood split, but you know, you can only split for so long. You can only split for so long. So I got not much that needs to be quartered, but I still got a lot of logs that need to be split. And then once I get all that, all these logs cut and split, all this crud that's on the ground, I gotta go scoop it up and dump it in my dump trailer and throw it all away. I probably at least have a dump trailer load, and I also have several piles of this junk, rotted, whatever, or too short pieces that I'll probably do a live video of once the snow melts, because I have more over there. So that's what I have planned, at least ahead of time. So, nope, it's not charging. There we go. So, thank you guys for sticking with me and watching this video. I'm going to have to end the video, unfortunately, because I got stuff to do. But every time I looked at it, there was more than 100 people watching on this YouTube channel, which I really appreciate. So, thank you guys for watching, and I hopefully see you next time on something else, whatever I'm doing. Here's a lot of cool channels that you can go check out. But I'm gonna pull this trailer down my driveway, park it, and I'll see you in another video.